What's up guys? This is Evan with Roambuilt, and today we're going to walk through an installation of our new Sprinter van driver's side tire carrier with optional ladder add-on. Now we'll go through some of the features in a little bit, but I want to point out now that it's all aluminum, so it's really light, but it's a heavy standard pipe size. So it's 1.9 inches OD, so it's really sturdy as well. Before we get started, there's one thing that's worth repeating, and that's that you have to have the 180 hinges for this to work. It won't work with the wraparound door hinges, and you can tell the 180 hinges because they already have the two holes in each hinge. Now the only real prep work that needs to be done is to drill this hole right here. Now we've been using Ty's van for prototyping and testing, so the hole's already drilled, but I'll just go through the process. You'll use this plate as a template, and you're just going to line it up this curve with the circle where the logo is and this top body line here in the edge of the door. So you just hold it in place, mark your hole with a Sharpie, and drill through a couple layers. Start small with like maybe an 1/8 inch pilot and work your way up to the final size. Once that's been done, you'll peel the backing off the sticky tape and stick this part in place. Then we're ready to go. Here's what it'll look like from the inside after you've drilled the hole and installed the plate. Many of you may be putting these on cargo vans so you won't have the plastic. We went ahead and removed the plastic ahead of time. Before we hang this on the door, we're going to put our big bolt in, and it doesn't matter how you adjust it, we just want to get it mostly installed. This is for the tire carrier. So I've got a washer on the bolt. We'll put it through from the back, and because we're using stainless, I've got this whole thing coated with a little bit of oil just to help keep the threads from galling up. All right, we're ready to hang this on the hinges now. So you're going to want to grab these two plates. We'll talk about which one goes where in a minute. The 4 of the nuts and washers, this round rubber donut spacer, and the longest of the bolts. You're also going to want to grab a buddy, and he'll be on the other side of the door holding the rest of the hardware. So what we're going to do is just lift it up, and we're going to put the long bolt through the inner mount just to hold it in place so it can't fall, and then we'll come back and put the main 4 bolts in the hinges. So here, I'll give you this and this. So as you can see, that rubber donut goes between the mount and the door plate. And now we're going to start at the top, and the top is what uses this crazy shaped little washer here, and on the inside it'll be very obvious which way it goes because there's only one way you can put this in there. It's a very specific shape. So he's going to use the bolts and push them through from the inside out. So it'll kind of hang there. I'm going to put on a flat washer and a lock nut, and I'm just going to kind of get it started till it's finger tight. And he's on the back side holding those bolts so they can't spin while I start them. Once you get one on, this thing's pretty safe where it's not going to fall. All right, then on the bottom, again, there's really only one way this rectangular washer can go. You can see at this point you've got a lot of wiggle room to get the holes lined up. The adjustment really doesn't matter at this point. This inner one's a little tricky to get to, but it's not bad. Just try not to drop it because it's probably gone forever if you do drop it down in the door. We're going to tighten these down with a 7/32 hex key and a 9/16 wrench or socket for the nut. I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. Again, this is a 9/16 on the nut side. We're going to watch for this donut to start squishing. We don't want to totally compress it, and I don't have a torque measurement for you here, but what we're going for is pretty compressed but not just totally blown out. You can kind of tell by how hard the wrench on the backside is to turn, and that's about what I would consider the right amount. All right, so now that we're ready to install the tire, we've already measured and determined that for our 35-inch tire, about halfway up this slot is where we need to be, and that's a good starting point if you just want to kind of get it kind of snug, test your tire and see if you need to raise it up or down. It's not incredibly critical that you have it down to the exact 1/4 inch. So for us, halfway up is where we're going to put it, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and put some Loctite where this nut is going to end up. So just in here on these threads. And the easiest way to keep the bolt from turning while you tighten the nut down is to stick a heavy-duty screwdriver, or my favorite, the end of a spud wrench, right through the end of it. Now to mount the tire is really simple. We're just going to set it in place, slide on this rubber wheel cone, and crank down the wing nut. It's worth noting that you want to make sure that you at least get the wing nut cranked down past the hole that's drilled in the end. This hole is there for a padlock so that you can't, a thief couldn't back this out. If your wheel is so wide for whatever reason, contact us so we can talk about a longer bolt. It's also worth noting that you should end with it parallel and the bison right side up. That's it for the tire carrier. If you didn't order the ladder add-on, all you need to do is plug the two top holes with the plastic caps and you're done. If you did order the ladder add-on, keep following along. Now, I'm doing it in this order in the video to show you that you can add the ladder later in this scenario, but if you ordered the ladder and tire carrier at the same time, it's going to be simpler to assemble the whole thing together on the ground first. So just like with our roof rack, ladders, and side steps, we've got these billet aluminum connectors, and these are the proper size for this 1.9 OD. And it's a really strong way and a really clean way to connect the round tubing together. So I'm going to show you on this one because you're not going to be able to see the back one as well in the video, but it's the same concept. So I'm going to start with the lower one and line the holes up. I'm going to leave these just finger tight for the moment until I have the whole thing assembled. I'm going to do the same thing on this inner one. You just won't be able to see on the video. It is a bit of a pain to get the lower two started, but it's doable. And like I said, if you're ordering these all at the same time, you're going to do it on the ground anyway. Now it's time to drop the ladder on. Remember, you left these a little loose, so there's a little bit of wiggle room. Then we're just going to put the last 4 bolts in. All right, all 8 are in. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all 8 down. For these 4 that are facing the back glass, little L shape is going to be the winner there. If you're installing the foot pegs, it's a real simple deal. And by the way, this is one of the cosmetic changes we may make. It may be a slightly different foot peg with a different tool. This one uses a screwdriver. I think the final will use a hex key, but either way, it's going to be the same install process. Put some Loctite on the threads and thread them into the weld bungs. Nice and snug. And then this style has a cap on the end. And we'll do the same on the upper one. And that wraps up this install. If you guys got the passenger side, check out that video, and if you have any other questions, reach out to us at roambuilt.com. Thanks.